Rosita with Root Design Company.
And I'm LaRonda.
Today we're going to show you how we start our flowers indoors.
Now, you might be wondering why go to all that trouble of planting your flowers indoors when you could just plant the seeds directly into your garden. And you're right, for you it might not be the best thing, but we often have a lull about June, first part of July, where we don't have a lot of flowers in the garden. It's kind of the break between all the spring flowers and then all the later summer flowers like zinnias and dahlias, etc. So we start them early to have flowers during that lull.
Some flowers do better just being directly sown into the ground. Larkspur and lupins are two of those. They need a little bit of freeze thaw at the beginning of spring, end of winter to get going in the garden. But one that does really well for us, we get blooms about a month earlier if we start it inside, is a zinnia, for example. So let's get into some of the tools that we use to start our flowers inside, and we'll give you a few tips along the way. A cheap way to get your plant started inside is to take an old milk jug and cut off the three inches or so off the bottom, put some drainage holes in, and then just put your seedling mix in there and sow your plants in there. That's how we used to start our flowers, just, very inexpensive. Everybody has milk jugs. This is a similar situation, just an old ice cream container, and got some little basil seedlings growing in there. And it works fine. The one thing you'll want to do is put a piece of plastic or something on top just to sort of create a little greenhouse inside there so the seedlings can germinate better.
They do better in a moist environment, right?
Right,
Yeah.
to germinate.
Yeah.
Right.
Fun fact about basil, if you brush even just a little seedling, it smells like Italian food in here. And we like to start these in the wintertime so that we have little microgreens, little basil microgreens to use in our food.
Recently I came across the concept of using soil blocks for your seedlings instead of starting them in a tray, all jumbled together.
This is what a soil blocker looks like.
This is a small soil blocker. It's I think a 3/4 inch block. Basically just make a little block, plant your seeds in the blocks, and then we like to sprinkle a little bit of vermiculite on top. And
then you can just pull a block out. It works kind of like a plug, and you pop these right into your transplant tray.
I mentioned vermiculite. This is what that looks like. And it's just like a moisture regulator, I guess, that you can toss on top. It helps to keep the green fungus or algae or whatever it is that grows on top of soil sometimes if you have it under light.
Okay, then when they're ready to be bumped up, we use a 10-20 tray. You can see these in the greenhouses usually. And these are 1204 cell packs in here. These are available at pretty much any garden store, I think. I know you can get them on Amazon, and we'll try to leave a link for you in the description. If you're from Ohio, I know that Berlin Seeds carries them.
There's two kinds of soils that we use for our seedlings. The first one is a seedling mix, and it's good for germinating seeds, and we use it in this.
And then the soil that we use in our trays we like to use Better Grove, Ohio. We have good success with it. I know this you can also get at Berlin Seeds if you're from Ohio. Now, I don't think this is available on Amazon. You don't have to use this soil, just find a soil that you think would do well, and it should be just fine.
Probably the biggest thing that has increased our seedling health for our little plants is grow lights. Now, it can seem like a little bit of a splurge because they're not cheap, but they make really beautiful little plants. They're compact, they're green, they're healthy.
Now, you could start your seeds in a sunny windowsill. We did that for a long time. That's kind of hit or miss. We used to put them in the windowsill and pray for a sunny day. We didn't get a lot of those here in Ohio. So we ended up investing in a grow light.
They give the light that your plants need when they're little, and they stay compact, and they're green, and they're healthy.
And the roots develop.
Right. Versus on a windowsill, sometimes they can really get leggy and stretched out and not look as healthy or be as healthy. So we have, I think, 3 big 4-foot lights, 2 by 4. And so 4 of these trays will fit under 1 light. So we have, right now, we have a really small setup. We can just get 12 trays under those lights. We do have another smaller light that I use for the little seed blocks when I'm germinating the seeds.
Alrighty then.
Another thing you might want to invest in is a heat mat. This thing is all folded and wrinkled because it's been in storage. We haven't started our heat-loving flowers yet. But if you have, like, say, zinnias or celosia, gomphrena, some of those that like a lot of warmth, and if you have a cold place that you're starting them in, say a basement or garage or somewhere, it might be good just to have a heat mat underneath there to get a little bit better germination. I would probably, as soon as they germinate, usually a light is sufficient then for the warmth that they need. So another little hack I have for you is to store your soil in a tote like this. And if you do, it's a lot easier to scoop your soil out and put it in your trays and things. Something that's really handy to have too is a little scoop to fill up your trays. This is super cheap. It's just an old, I think a syrup jug maybe. You can buy like a feed scoop or something like that would work as well. So you can just fill your tray right on top of your little tote and keep the mess
Contain
there.
your mess, yeah. Sorry.
Another fun little thing we finally invested in this year was a little seed sower. These aren't expensive. I don't know why we've been holding out this long. There's a little dial here that has different seed sizes. And so you just match the size of the opening to the size of your seed and just do a little shake and, sow your seeds pretty easy.
This is life-changing. We used to have to take a little toothpick for the really tiny seeds, like snapdragon or really small, right? And one by one, carefully plant each little seed. And this saves a lot of time. Right. Worth every little penny that you spend on it.
So this isn't the only way to start your seeds inside. There's many ways of doing it. This is just what we do, what we found works for us here.
And kind of the point is just to show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money to start seeds indoors. You can use, cut off milk jugs, a little bit of plastic wrap, just water and soil and seeds basically. But I do think that if you want good success and healthy plants to plant into your garden, the one splurge that would be worth it would be a grow light. All right, I think that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching this far, and we wish you a lot of success with your garden this year.
If you have any questions about anything that we talked about here today, drop us a comment below and we'll see if we can answer it. A milk jug is a pretty cheap way. No, we don't need to talk about cheap. I was cheap. I'll say that. 3-4 inches off the bottom. Poke some holes for drainage in the bottom of it. I'm saying bottom entirely too much. When we first started growing our when we first started out, I was pretty cheap and just used milk jugs to start all my little seedlings. I would cut. Okay, are we ready to go again?
Yep.
No idea. It should be something easy. Okay, are you ready to go? When we first started out, I was cheap.